pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we go any further, any additions or deletions to the agenda? I have none. Hearing none. Recognition of guests. Robert, do you have anything that you want to discuss?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I just got back on because my other computer burnt out.
Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. Alrighty. You want to tell us your name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, my name is Dylan Tarlecki. I'm a local resident in Jay. I own a Flavorline Cannabis Company with my father. And I was actually looking to open up a dispensary here in town here, renting out Dave's Auto Shop right to his left, it's half of this building. We have our products all over the state. There's no dispensary in town here. I did see it was opted in and thought it would be a good business opportunity for the town. Not only to have another business here, but of course if we do get busy enough down the future in the line, we could hire an employee or two, which could benefit the town as well by giving jobs out to people. I think it'd be a good spot because it's got good parking. Everyone knows Dave around town, and the Quebec border is right there, should bring a lot of traffic in through that as well. We have a good security team that will bring in high quality security cameras, and we'll also be using a bolted safe to the ground, making theft a limited option for people around here. We had multiple town meetings with Jay as well, where certain people were hesitant about it during the security issues. We met all the compliance orders of the state and had absolutely no issues with the cultivation side at all. We're a mixed tier one, so we do outdoor as well as indoor. In starting up the business, we'll have some stock from what our product can have. We can operate it through the store, making our product able to sell, making sure that the business is a good spot for the town and affordable. I just wanted to start out small here and kind of see what everyone thought. As far as we're still trying to figure out the hoops and loops of everything going on here. And as long as we're good to go here, I'll have my security team come in tomorrow and walk through the place and make sure it's good to go there. And if everything's good to go with that, we'll start the ball with rolling, trying to get that open.
So my understanding is that it has to get a vote in the town when the dispensary comes in. It's not up to necessarily the select board, but it has to go up for a vote during town meeting day. So this was put on the ballot 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Twice it's been on the ballot.
It's been on the ballot twice, it's been voted down twice.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is, and checking with the Cannabis Control Board, that is still the route it has to go. It has to be put up to the town votes during town meeting day in March, and if the town elects to allow a dispensary in, then anyone can apply to the select board at that point to.
Does it have to be town meeting, or can it be like we have?
Yeah, it can be any.
So
But it has to be put on the ballot.
Yeah, it has to be
enough
put on.
Time has to be.
So we have.
It wouldn't be, you wouldn't be able to do it for August, it'd have to be November.
So you could do it sooner.
Yeah.
If you were inclined to do it and move forward and try to get.
It's just a petition, you pick up the petition, and I think you need like 80 signatures or something.
No, it's only, it's small.
27, 26, something
Yes,
like
it's
that.
10% of the voters, right?
Yeah.
5%?
5%
That's
of
like
the
20.
voters.
So it's about 80 because it's
That's
about
what it was,
1,600
When Levi and
registered voters
Justin went
about.
around and got all
So
those
it's about
votes, they had to get
80,
84 votes. They
Yeah,
had to get
for
84 on
any
the
petition, it's 5% for, like, if you're running for a select board member, it's 1%.
Oh, I see,
that's
okay,
it.
that's where
So
we're
it's
getting.
5%
That's
for
right.
a petition to put
lose
something
by
on the
many.
ballot.
Okay.
I think we lost by 14 votes in one of them, I don't know what the.
11 for the other
And I mean,
11 for the other.
And I think if people had a tangible business that was, like you could provide, if you were active in pursuing it, I think, and you could say, hey, you know, these are what my other stores look like, you know. You might have, if you can
You
present,
need to, sell the town on it.
sell the town on it, I guess is what I'm
You know,
saying.
you need
Okay.
to really get out there and get your name out there and start talking to residents about what your vision is for a dispensary here. I think just people were, there wasn't a lot of communication around town around it, and so then when they see it on the ballot, it's like, oh, well, who is this, who wants to do this? And there wasn't anyone in particular at that time that wanted to do it. We just wanted the option to be able to have a business like yourself come into town.
Yeah,
And have that option, but again, it got voted down twice, so, but I don't think a lot of effort
okay,
went into pursuing it, so I think if you had somebody that really wanted to pursue it and really educate the town on how well this could be, because you can put a 1% tax on it too for the town, along with the 14% tax for the state, so, it is a benefit to the town to,
I do think it'd be a good spot as well. Like I said, it's got good parking. And it's got a good feel in the fact that, if we get to know a lot of the locals very well over time, we could host events in the back and try and bring in the community for some town events, and things like that. I think it'd be good opportunities. I see some other places closing down. There'd be more opportunities to have business come up and maybe some more revenue for the town. What were some of the concerns of why I got turned down?
again, I think people were
We
telling.
have no police, that's it.
No police.
No police, but if you're saying there's a security.
Yeah,
So
it
there's
doesn't have to be
security
the police, yeah,
Issues going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once people get loaded and they're out in the street, your security's gone. We have so much trouble here,
Yeah.
every single day, Premier.
We are very little compared to most of the towns around us. We are
Yeah.
very little compared to Enosburg.
Our security team has a live feed that connects right from our security cameras right to a live feed on their computers. So if we were closed down, for instance, we'd probably be closing at 8 or 9 o'clock at night. If we were to go home, something were to happen, someone were to break in, it'd be a live feed right to the computer, and they'd actually have law enforcement much quicker than we would be able to have them, because we wouldn't be able to actually seeing able to cameras right away.
Yep.
Of course, it'd probably be live feeded to our phones, but it wouldn't be as fast as the actual company being able to directly contact law enforcement. And we wouldn't have any product on the shelf at night, and we'd put all the money away into the lock safe that's again bolted to the ground with a combination lock that has a time release, which also makes it much harder for criminals to be able to get in and be able to actually commit a theft on the store. And by that time that happens, law enforcement would already be at the building, so.
You never tried to call police here in Richford. If you can get them to come in a week, you're lucky.
But he would, what his business would be on the same line as a liquor store. There'd be no difference.
Correct.
For theft or breaking in or people wanting it, cigarettes off the shelves. That's the number one theft that everybody's breaking into places is stealing cigarettes so that they can get fast money to buy drugs that are illegal, that are not pot. They're looking for heavier stuff.
And then again, like I said, when we closed down, there wouldn't be any product on the shelves, or even in the boxing safes or anything in the front room. There'd be nothing to even see or steal. So if they were to take anything, it'd be an empty box. So I mean, you're not gonna be able to really do anything
Right.
with the empty box. And then again, criminals would be getting caught with our high definition cameras we'd use.
So when you say you're calling, if there's a break-in and you're calling in the security, it's not your own security staff coming in, you're relying on the police that patrol Richford then?
No, he's
It's
relying
like
on a
an EDP
security
service.
company.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the same
security
type of service we have at the store.
24/7.
So they're gonna send,
Correct,
It's all
yeah, they have a
break-in
live
happening.
camera feed.
They're not
that
gonna
gets-
send any personnel, they're gonna contact some of the state officials, state
Yeah,
police,
those-
sheriff,
It'll get right on contact
So they're-
immediately with police and have them immediately to the building.
like,
yeah,
like
I
a
said,
911
faster.
equivalent.
Exactly, most faster than we'll be able to contact them and get a hold of them because they're getting a live direct feed right to their computers. They're actually seeing exactly when someone pulls up, tries to commit a robbery, and they're already on the phone, right then and there. So, it's definitely a very high quality system. And if you look over the state too, there's been very minimum attempts at any sort of robberies at all the legal dispensaries around the state. And when they do things, it's like a cactus in the front room or an empty box, so it's really very minimal. And I know there's a lot of drugs in this area, which that may be a high concern of us. We make security a high priority for this building.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time.
Yeah.
And you decided to go to a town meeting for this, or?
So you need to start with the clerk, this town
So-
clerk hands out the petitions, is that?
She does, but if you were to come in, we have them available where I could give you a blank petition. I wouldn't be able to get it for you today, but if you left me your email, or I could give you my email,
Yeah.
I could send you the petition. You can get it right on the state's website as well.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
Could you mind emailing it to me just so it's a little quicker?
Yeah, sure. What's your email?
Excuse me. Email is dtarlecki, dtarlecky@gmail.com.
So dtarlecki@gmail.com.
Correct.
Okay. All right, I can email you a petition.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you.
John?
Thank you.
One thing, we've got to do something about getting some police coverage here. On this street last night, it was like a war zone. Cars smoking and bang, bang, bang went on for hours.
Yep, up Green Ave too. I got a complaint about Green Ave too. Bike marks everywhere. Motorcycle Green Ave wants to know, people up there want to know why their speed bumps didn't get put back on this summer.
That was one of my questions.
They had speed bumps, they got picked up, that must be for the winter time for plowing.
Right.
I can ask Jason to put those
Yeah,
back.
if that's something to happen, that'd be great.
So what is the progress with contacting with the sheriff? Because it mentioned Richford in their article they had in the paper.
Did anybody see that article?
I did.
I've got copies of it.
I did
I'd like
see
a
it.
copy of it, please.
Anybody else? There's probably two of them there, yeah.
I guess, I don't know.
Anybody, I've got plenty,
Okay.
so.
And what, I guess, what did, can you
We get one
recap
more?
it quickly, I guess?
It's the highlighted on the second page where it was kind of interesting that they stated that because Enosburg was dropping their contract, that was going to drop the number of hours they could offer Richford. And I was just wondering, first of all, did you know that? And second of all, if you did they explain that? Cause that just
Well,
doesn't make sense.
here's what happened. We met, about a little over a week ago?
Yep.
We were all set to sign the contract that
Yeah,
would have
that's-
provided us the same coverage that we currently had. And that morning, the sheriff's department said, we can't provide coverage because the same coverage that we were offering because our officers we would not be able to provide backup to our officers because presumably we did do a little looking. It does look like most instances when there's an officer in Richford, there's one in Enosburg on the same hours.
Okay.
So they were saying they're not able to provide the backup. That was the argument. And they said, well, what we can do is give you 2 officers, 20 hours a week, and it'll cost you the same amount. At that point, we as a board decided we weren't comfortable spending that amount of money for that limited amount of coverage.
Mhm.
So we kind of declined to sign that contract, and we're hoping that a better option would make itself available. And I mean, I don't know, have we had any follow-up since last, Monday?
From
John?
She was on-
no, we have not. No.
He did give us a couple different options, but I don't know if we've had a chance to.
I think he was gonna continue to provide similar service for the summer, right? And
Yeah.
like in hopes that
He was-
something,
And he was
I think he's
waiting
hoping to get
for
Enosburg to come back on.
that, and he was waiting to see how the school budget was gonna do
Cause they'll have the
with their
SRO,
SRO.
cause we'll have that daytime coverage like we had last year.
Okay, so it makes sense now that you said that the security having the backup, because the police officers do need that, and, It's a difference if the person's coming from Enosburg over, or if they've gotta come all the way from St. Albans and what, a lot can.
Yeah, I mean, I get that partially,
I do partially, but we have border
but
patrol.
Border
that
Patrol has
responds
always
quickly.
provided, 9 times out of 10 is the first to respond on
Yep.
scene anyway for us, it's a nice service we have.
Mhm.
I feel part of it was a power play on the sheriff department's part to try to either get more money out of us or coax Enosburg back into negotiations.
Yep.
But we can't pay,
Two
100, it
officers.
doesn't make sense to pay $170,000 or whatever it was going to
It's
be
ridiculous.
for 20 hours of coverage. We really don't need 2 sheriffs roaming the town at the same time.
Right.
So it was just a lot to swallow, and we as a board decided not to sign that contract.
Thank you.
But it doesn't solve your problem. But we don't know how to solve that problem because we've reached out to a couple other sheriff's departments in this, and
What's funny is I've been seeing more of the state police up here.
Yeah, I did too.
yeah.
Well, our services with the Franklin County Sheriff ended
As of
Sunday,
today.
as of yesterday, yeah.
But, we've reached out to a couple other area sheriff departments, and it's just, they don't have theirs. Basically, one was like, we just don't think we're struggling with our own staffing and just maintaining ours. And I'm not sure if we heard about the other one. I know Andy was looking into another sheriff's department.
I think,
Chittenden
They said they were.
Chittenden County, but it didn't sound like they
Didn't
were,
sound
that they
promising.
would be interested.
So it doesn't look good, I guess, in that regard. But I mean, it also can't be cost prohibitive either.
True.
So it's like,
Well, and we also were pretty insistent on the hours that they were covering, and we were like, it doesn't make sense for you to be here from 8 to 3, it's just, there's no.
on a Sunday.
And so there was that as well, that like they didn't wanna provide nightly coverage. And, for what we're paying them, we felt like we should be able to at least choose some of those hours,
And they didn't want to do every weekend or every Friday, Saturday night.
They didn't wanna do those hours. And whether it's because they don't have the manpower to, I don't know.
Well, thank you for being on top of that and
Well,
thinking it through.
I wish we had a better answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you explained what I was just from the newspaper, that when I read it, it's like, that did not make logical sense.
Right.
So. John?
You have anything else?
Yes, I'd like to have you reappoint Rowena to the Development Review Board. Her term is up. We have 2 other members' terms is up, and they both decided they did not want to be reappointed. So we're looking for 2 other candidates at this time.
Have a motion to reappoint
I'll make a
Rowena?
motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
I,
Congratulations, Rowena.
Yes.
Is that it, John, for you?
Yes, that was mainly it.
Rowena?
Okay, I'll start with the speed bumps on Green Avenue.
Yeah.
Is it possible to tag with that the speed signs? That the sheriffs in years past, they've said they've had the signs, Enosburg's got 3 or 4 of them around that shows you.
how fast you're going.
The solar ones?
Yeah, the solar,
Yeah.
and I don't think those cost to do.
Who would pay for them?
The sheriff apparently has those for,
They were supposed to bring them here a couple times last year, and they brought it once down by where Dave McCollister's garages, and it was there for a couple of days, and we never saw it back again. So they were supposed to bring them and put them up and do it around towns a few times throughout the year, and they
Well,
didn't happen.
given that we're not under contract, there may be some resistance there.
well, and then you might, so if
Speed.
we wouldn't get it from that, maybe check with Enosburg to see how, cause theirs are there.
All the
kind of-
time, they
Yeah.
All the
probably
time.
purchase them.
Right,
And
Yeah,
Montgomery
just-
has them all the time.
Yeah,
and
they
there
probably
might be
purchase
grants
theirs.
out there for that we can,
Maybe that's something we can look into.
Yeah, I'll check, I'll call, Billy Joe.
but maybe if you have that sign, cause one of the comments in a past select board meeting was that people, when they see them, they're like, okay, how fast can I go? Well, if you
Most
put
of the time, it's the opposite, most of the time,
right,
like, oh,
most of the
you
people
realize I was
do.
going that fast.
But if you have a speed bump right after at a short distance, it might do
Oh,
a
the
little
ones in
bit of.
Enosburg are very successful.
Yeah.
Very, and that back little
Yeah, they
pedal
just
trail,
added
they're
it.
very, very successful
Yeah.
there.
Okay. I have that down.
Like that we have the notices on the sign for the old home days and the parade, and you had for the election, that's good. The only thing, since you were talking about the parade changing its route, if you could get that up there and get people informed, because there are a lot of people that are by Dollar General and stuff, they're expecting, if you're not gonna go by there,
Yeah, it's not, don't buy there.
yeah, to somehow get the word out to them.
That the parade, where the, you mean you wanna put the route on the,
Or just say new route
New route down Troy Street.
down, ending at Troy Street.
high school to
Troy
Troy
Street
Street.
and back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it ending there?
What, they're coming back.
Yeah.
They're coming back.
High
So
school
that-
to Troy Street.
It doesn't need, I mean, let me ask this question, does it need to come back?
No.
I mean, does that make, I mean,
People
I
are
mean-
gonna
I think
leave
the
their
only
stuff
thing is a
over
lot
here.
of people
you're
go
used
back
to.
to the, I think they meet back at the high school, like if they're on a float or something,
Yeah,
they
okay,
Yeah.
go back there to drop off, or they have cars or
Yeah.
whatnot.
okay.
And still on the sign, if we could have the notice, I think we talked about it, the zoning fees went up increased as of today, just to kind of let people know that that happened.
I did, I was gonna put it in my update, but, I did update all those on the website. The
Okay.
zoning permits are updated, the certificate of compliance and occupancy, those are all updated on the website.
Terrific, thank you.
And I can put on the sign the notice of the zoning fee
Yeah.
changes.
So when the people come and start screaming, it's like, we tried to tell you.
Yeah,
And this is all the places we did. And then my last one is the ARPA meetings. Have we gotten those scheduled for the public meetings for the ARPA money?
I think soon.
Yeah, soon, but we don't have them
Oh.
scheduled yet.
Kylie's on vacation this week, so hopefully within the next week or so,
Okay,
we'll have a plan together to come to the public.
okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Alrighty, we have a couple of people that came in a little bit late.
Hi there.
Do you wanna introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jamie with Cat Crusaders, this is Danny. Just coming to kind of address some of the situations that, Richford's having, that I'm up here all the time. With animals, picking them up because, the animal control officer will not.
Cats we're speaking of.
Cats, not dogs.
Yeah.
We stepped in when Sarah died in the fire, and we've been feeding most of the cats in the trailer park and other families that don't have staff
Good.
enough for them. Just figuring out where, I took in 4 kittens and a mother cat last week and another kitten off the street in Richford here also, in 1 week.
It's a steady flow of stray cats that.
Now, there's also an issue with dogs too. Now, where in the state of Vermont are you able to bring them?
Well, the problem is what has happened is that, Tracy's technically supposed to be the ACO.
Right, but where does she bring them?
Well, that's where she is supposed to have a contract with somebody.
But
I
there
mean-
is nobody. You have
Well, there
anybody?
was, but what's happened in the past is that she reneges and doesn't go to where she's supposed to go when she's supposed to have it there. So then she burns a bridge, so then she's gotta find someplace, you need to have a contract, like with FCAR, NCAL, Chittenden County, that's the big thing. So that way your dogs or animals get first on the list to be intaked. And she has to have some place to hold them. Right now, I have a spot that I hold, I have 20 extra cats right now.
Right. So that's the issue. There's no holding place for them.
And
So
right now,
contract.
Sheldon, which I just talked to the Sheldon Stebbins, Matt, and they are, hopefully it's gonna all work, cause I just talked to Berkshire today, that they're trying to figure out, they're pulling off their old salt shed and maybe building some sort of facility if everybody puts some money in together. I talked to BJ about it today. Berkshire was in on it, Sheldon, that there could be some place to store these animals. You gotta have housing for them.
Yeah.
Same with Tracy. Tracy could put them in her cellar. I have them all over my house. I have them in wherever. They're in crates. They all get treated for whatever they need, so. But there's gotta be some sort of craziness. That was 5 cats last week.
And so we're a TNR program, we're
Not a
trying
rescue.
to return, so we're not actually a cat rescue officially, but we can't say no.
And
And
we
we
find
know.
spots for them and we hold them and we take them to clinic and get them, spayed, neutered and vaccinated, and then they go through rescue to be adopted out if they're adoptable friendly.
Or
Which
FCAR.
most of them are, because most of them are abandoned or dropped off or whatever. But it's a steady flow in the last 2 years since Sarah passed that we've been absorbing. And it's, it's a financial burden, and we survive on donations alone. We do not have income, nobody gets paid, we're all volunteers. So we do fundraisers all year long. And, Richford's not the only town that has issues. But it's been significant in Richford because Sarah used to be the one that would take them to TNR and get the food to people, and so we've taken that over, which is fine, we're happy to do it, but we need help. And there's, it seems crazy that a town with an ACO, we're doing it, we're doing the ACO work. So it's been frustrating, to say the least. Tiring. And exhausting, yeah, but, we're not gonna reject a cat that somebody calls us about and says, oh, this sweet thing is showed up on my doorstep, it's been here, I don't know, 6 months, a year, some are really long-term cats. And usually people do their due diligence by posting it on Facebook, Front Porch Forum, saying, is this your cat, blah, blah, blah. But the ones that look like they've been out on their own for quite some time, they're likely not owned. And some need medical care. We've done a lot of medical care for illnesses and conditions and injuries. So we're just here to inform and hopefully get some assistance of some sort. I don't know what it is, but maybe have a conversation with Tracy to see if she can do more. Yeah, we're not sure where to go.
Okay.
We won't stop, but
No, we appreciate your efforts.
yeah.
Yeah, there's also a situation a few weeks ago that somebody, actually a month, that she was supposed to go into a house here in Richford and check it out. Because there's a situation going on there that needs to be addressed. The health officer was supposed to go.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Okay, yeah.
We will look, there's always room to improve, and
Always.
we will look to improve upon
Well,
what's
and
going
it's
on.
really hard because Andre's gone. Andre was
Yeah.
my person.
Andre
I
was
would call
everybody's
him and he was.
He was everybody's person.
Jamie, what's wrong now? But you know what I mean, he was good, and he just gave everybody money to do solve some of the problems, and it's really gonna get worse, and I think somehow you gotta get on top of the landlords, because that's where most of your problems coming.
Yep.
It is horrible, and then he just keeps moving them around. One was down on 105, moved him up to Indianapolis, I sent the health officer there, move him to Richford, that's not the solution. Stop it. Everybody should be fixed, vaccinated, the dogs should be licensed, limited amount of cats, go in and inspect the properties. Don't just let them, because then we cleared out one, and now they get 10 again. You can't just keep going. So, it's just something for you guys to think about. And it's the animals I feel bad for.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys have any suggestions of what you would like to see? Obviously you talk to each other and, you're saying, you don't know what the solution is, but.
No, but there's an ACO that's being paid to do what we're doing. And granted, maybe she can't do it to the volume that we do it, but something. It's, we shouldn't be doing a majority of her job
She
or
doesn't call me
90%
now.
of her job.
She doesn't go do it herself, she just has me, call Jamie.
Yeah.
It's easier, because Jamie will solve the problem.
It's a matter of holding somebody accountable to do what they're being paid to do,
Or only pay her for what she does.
or that. So,
It's a hard
It's-
hard thing, because
it's-
Enosburg just got a new ACO. And hopefully that works out, Sheldon just so far, he's like right on top of it,
Yeah,
so I
he's
think
awesome.
maybe that's.
Could you email Marissa
A list of all.
a list of the people you can contract with?
Mhm.
yes,
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I will.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
I
the
think
best thing.
your
if you get a
email's right on
contract-
our town website, right?
yep. no
Yeah,
problem.
getting the contract is the best thing, because then you get first come, first served.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes, yes, she has to hold them for 24 or 36 hours, but then you also have to make sure that
If, hey,
if you are, you can't even get in.
Okay.
There's gotta be a place for these to go.
Okay.
Proactive. You want
Yeah,
her to be
and
more
ahead of
proactive.
time before.
Okay.
Too late.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I guess on to approval of,
Oh, we have somebody else here?
oh, Tracy's here for later in the session.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming that's why you're here, right? Yeah. Approval of the June 17th meeting minutes. I have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
You have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Highway report. The park and ride's coming along. They've been working on the sidewalks, looking pretty good. Jason hopes to have the town's committed portion done this week by Wednesday. They also, at least right now, seem to have curbed the beaver problem on the Gilnet Road. They built a fencing around it. Trying to think of the right term, but not chain link, but just and the beavers don't seem to know what to do with it. So that's been holding up the highway, plus the dam open every morning. But other than that, some roadside work, just general summertime work, grading, a little patching for some of the rain washing out, but that's about all we have to report there. Buildings?
Not a lot, we've got 4 weeks out on the doors for the post office. A1 is still waiting on receiving in the flooring for the back of the post office. Waiting on electrician for this building, and met with Chris Wheeler, the engineer for the heating system, last week. So he's gonna be starting on putting a design together to bring back to us. That's about it.
Ellen, water and sewer?
Just a couple things on that. Marissa's got copies for everyone of the updated water rules. I guess the only thing we would ask is everybody take a good look at it. Our intent is to treat this as an ordinance, which may be a bit of a conservative approach, but we want to make sure everybody has a chance to look at these before they go into effect. A lot of people spent a lot of time working on this. Andy spent a lot of time, Marissa, Mike, Jeremy. We put a lot of time into this, and I think we've got something really good here, because there's nothing in there that's more detrimental to the water users in town. Everything that we've got in there is for people's benefit, or it was updating old information. So I think it's really good, but there is a lot of stuff, so I would just ask everybody, take a really good look at it, and once we approve it, we're thinking we're gonna post it for 60 days like an ordinance, which we may not be required to do because it's more of a policy type thing, but to give, again, err on the side of being conservative and transparency.
Yep.
We're gonna post it for 60 days. Still working. The wastewater rules, we're in process on those. We got through quite a bit of them, but I don't wanna rush it. I wanna make sure it's right. We were gonna try to do it with the water, but decided we're just not ready. So those we'll just have to do another time. The only other thing I've got on water and sewer is the notice we got from the state of Vermont. Jeremy submitted a plan and the state accepted it, so everything's good with our phosphorus.
Excellent.
We're still working on getting the profile and planning to do the sludge removal. We're doing the phosphorus optimization study. So the state found that acceptable, so everything's good with that. And I think that's all I had.
And when, following your timeline on the water, are we looking at that going into effect, say around the 1st of October or 1st of November? Would be a reasonable timeline for
No, it won't be that soon, because what we need to do is, assuming everybody is okay with what we've done, we're gonna post it for 60 days before it goes into effect.
But that would be August and September.
Oh, that's right, we're on July, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it could possibly be as early as the first part of October.
Possibly, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, too much time in the sun today.
You're okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Parks and playground?
I don't really have much, just kind of looking into the logistics around, maintaining the cemeteries when people start to resign. So I did email the VLTC just to kind of confer with them about next steps in case people step down from their roles in different cemeteries. So that's really the only thing I have.
Can I ask a question? Especially since we got Old Home Days coming up on Saturday, we can make sure that the parks have the doggy bags and the trash is all taken, trash bags and stuff, just to make us look good, Yep. We're gonna have people come in, have it spruce up the parks a little. Thank you.
Marissa?
Okay, so I handed out to everybody some, the new open meeting laws go into effect, today. Basically the gist of it is, we're required to have, remote meetings available for anyone who would like to attend. Another one, another main one is having it posted on our website for folks to know how to submit a written, I don't know what you'd call it, a written
Open meeting by.
open meeting violation.
Or something they
Like a
feel.
formal,
yeah.
if someone feels that we violated open meeting law, it just tells them how they would go about submitting a formal complaint. And the state law on that. Other than that, it's not really anything too different. I had a lady, Lindsay she helps organize the paddle pedal. She went down to the park today to organize our canoe shack, out of the bike shed for anyone who wants to, use one during the paddle pedal, which is coming up in July. She sent me some information. I haven't gotten a chance to open the email yet and see what the date is for that.
I believe it's the 13th of
Is it
July.
the 13th of July? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that. Sherry and I will talk about it in executive, personnel. It's not really an issue, it's more of a new duties. Other than that, updating, yeah. Other than that, that's all I have for an update.
Alright,
for everyone.
any other business? Hearing none, I move that we go, do I have a motion to go in executive?
I'll make motion.
A second,
Alright, we are, all those in favor?
Aye.
In executive, and I don't believe we'll have anything that,
I don't think there'll be any votes.
no votes coming out.